estamos no Brasil em Código, a Conferência Internacional da Gestión Brasil, que nesse ano traz o tema It's a Match, as melhores conexões geram as maiores inovações. E nós estamos aqui hoje para conversar com uma das principais palestrantes do evento, a Nathalie Brawler. Ela que é professora e head de desenvolvimento de negócios criativos na Universidade de Utrecht, na Holanda. Ela também é coach de criatividade e palestrante internacional. E ela veio aqui para o Brasil em Código hoje falar um pouco sobre a inovação no mundo dos negócios. Nathalie, it's a pleasure to talk to you.
Likewise.
Innovation is a subject that has been talking for a long time. It's not a new subject.
No.
Today, in your opinion, are companies really innovating?
Oh yeah, they're innovating at speed, I would say. So it's going very fast. Of course, there's a difference between the traditional companies. They are innovating slower, but they're innovating. And I think innovation can start very small and then eventually grow out to be bigger. What we see also at university and also with the students who come up with their own idea for companies is that already in the DNA there is innovation. So even if they don't know how to do it, they want to see what's right there at the very end. So they have this almost natural feeling to innovate. And yeah, so therefore I have high hopes. It will be all right. And by the way, innovation is not just digitally and blockchain and AI and everything else. It's also going the other way. So going off the grid, that's also innovating. So letting go of everything technological and then try to come up with something that doesn't require electricity or maybe that requires electricity, but that is 100% sustainable and recyclable.
And what is the main challenge that companies face in order to innovate?
I think they have to deal with recession after recession after recession, so that doesn't help. As you know from your country, but also in Europe, I mean, big time. And this is, I think, what really holds everybody back. So the moment that you really need to make money, innovation becomes something like a luxury, or you address it as something that is actually a great chance to come up with something awesome. And that depends heavily on the culture of the company. So if the culture is very open and friendly and you know, let's do it, energetic, then they are innovative within a recession. And if not, then yeah, it can really be a burden. Yeah.
And what are your advice to companies about what to do and what not to do to innovate?
Well, I think my speech later on will be about letting go of control. And especially in the risk-averse countries, this is something that people don't like. So the moment that you let go of controlling literally everything within your company and you open up to your customers for innovation or for even at scale, you know, running your company, there are companies who do that, then all of a sudden a lot more becomes possible. And it really breaks open that you know, that rigid costume that you're in. So yeah, I think that is something that they should do. And I think what they shouldn't do is constantly hire people who have their cultural fit, who have the same age, or who are super young, but just because they're young. You know, and usually what I do when I hire the people that work for our university, people need to make me nervous. So in a job interview, if people make me nervous, like, ooh, I'm going to have a tough conversation with this person because he knows so much or she knows so much. If that happens, then I need to hire that person. And if I constantly have the feeling I know more and I know, well, which is not always the case that I know more, but you know, I'm like, yeah, I've heard it all before, then no. So,
Natalie, what are your advice to companies about to do and what not to do to innovate?
right, I think what people should do is actually open up and let go of control. And well, yeah, in risk-averse countries, that's going to be challenging. In the Netherlands, it's easier to do that, let's say, but even there, it's not always easy. So my speech later on will be exactly around that topic. So how to open up to your customers and your consumers to co-create and how to make them even run your business, which sounds a bit scary, but you know there are companies who do that. And what you shouldn't do, to my opinion, is hire people who have the same mindset as you have, or hire people just because they're young. You know, we see that a lot happening. Oh, let's hire that funky new creative person, and let's have that millennial in, and then we will bring the innovation in. And that's not the case, because that person needs to learn first in order, you know, from you, and in order to, you know, to really grasp and come up with good ideas, not just funky ideas. So basically at our university, when I have job interviews, I'm always looking for the moment where someone makes me feel uncomfortable in knowledge or in maybe how he or she expresses him or herself, that it's so good. I'm like, oh, I want to have that, you know? If that happens, if that person makes me feel uncomfortable, then we're on the right track, and that person is hired. And I think that is something, well, there again, that's something you should do, and what you shouldn't do is just hire people because they're young, or hire people because you have the feeling that you can boss them around, because then you will hear an echo chamber in the end. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Thanks, Natalie.
Right, thank you.
Obrigada, nós conversamos com a Natalie Broller aqui no Brasil em Código.